Hi folks, I hope this finds you well. So today I want to talk about a not so glamorous subject, but it is something that affects us all, wherever you are in the world, whatever age you are, this affects you. And it is a really important sign of health or not so great health if things are going wrong in that direction. And why I've chosen this subject is just really a reflection of things that come up in clinic. I had a little person in with their parent last week and this was a real struggle for them. So I want to talk about poo, and I'm going to touch on some really basic points of what is a healthy poo and what to do, basic points of what to do if you are struggling or your child is struggling with sluggishness or constipation. And something that, this is aimed at both adults and children. It's going to be adults watching it. But one thing that I want to kind of impart with this is talking to your children about this and imparting knowledge to them of what is a healthy bowel movement. We can be a little bit shy to talk about this subject, but the fact of the matter is it affects everybody and it's a really common issue as well. So having a healthy conversation about it, not making a big deal about it, and just basic pointers. This is what a healthy bowel movement should be, and if anything crops up, these are the things that you should tick off your list. Yes, 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 I've done that. No, I haven't done that. That's probably why I'm a bit sluggish or constipated. So to have that conversation, rather than what can happen for a little one is that something goes wrong, there's maybe a little bit of sluggishness or constipation, they feel shy to talk about it, and maybe a couple of days goes by and it gets more uncomfortable for them and more painful, or sometimes a couple of weeks can go by with problems and issues. So it's something to just talk about openly, know what a healthy poo is, and if anything comes up that you nip it in the bud, that, rather than it progressing and getting more uncomfortable. And for any of you that have had problems with constipation or sluggishness or bowel issues, you know how uncomfortable it is. It is really not pleasant. And I think I feel doubly, really have empathy with kids on this one because, they're trying to understand what's going on and all they know is they're in a lot of pain and discomfort. So it's definitely an issue that affects many people, and just knowing some basics is good. So first thing, what is a healthy poo? So the first thing to think about is the urge. So we all get an urge to go to the bathroom to pass a stool. Do you get that urge? Do you get a signal from your body to do that? Then when you go to the bathroom, it should be effortless, okay? There's no coaxing, there's no pushing, there's no nothing, okay? I told you this is not a glamorous conversation, but the facts are the facts. When you go to pass it, when you have a bowel movement, it should be easy. Then we can talk about shapes and sizes. I'm not going to go super detailed on this, but a healthy bowel movement should look like a brown banana, okay? That's the long and the short of it. It should look like a brown banana. It should be hydrated. So if you pass a stool and it's like little balls wadded up together, that's an indication that it has been in the colon too long and there is a dehydration there. So think about the fact that your bowel movement is a detox route for your body. It is getting rid of unwanted waste. So if there's any stagnation or sluggishness there, that's not good for your overall health. You don't want to be holding on to waste products, okay? You want to be regular in getting rid of them. So if you see something like that, then you know, okay, this is not good for my health or my child's health. So then, if you do get a little bit of constipation, if you do get a little bit of sluggishness, what do we do? First thing to look at, as I just mentioned, is hydration. This is massive. There are so many people going around dehydrated. For adults, a lot of us can be living off of coffees and teas. I love my cup of tea. I have no problem with a cup of tea, but are you also drinking water? Now, I'm filming this and it is winter solstice. It is the middle of winter. This is the longest night of the year. And it's a time of year that I can say I struggle to get more water, because you want warm drinks, you fancy the cup of tea. Have your cup of tea, but also get water into the body as well. Jazz it up with something if you need to, for the kids or for yourself. If it's a squeeze of lime, if it's you name it, bit of orange juice, put something into it, but just getting more liquids into the body. Okay. Same for kids. Again, they can sometimes forget to have a drink. Okay, reminding them, did you drink water today? That's just such a common and such a basic one that we all can just miss completely. Next thing is food. Are you getting enough fiber? Are you getting enough fruit? Are you getting enough veg into your diet? And are you getting enough variety of those things? Different types of fiber, different types of vegetables, different types of fruit. We often get on a little bit of a merry-go-round of the same maybe 7 or 8 meals that we come back to time and time again, but we're not getting good varieties of food into our diet. Are we always on the same cereal? Similar lunch, kind of bit of a merry-go-round there, same thing on a Monday, same thing on a Tuesday. Change it up, get different things into your diet. Next thing is exercise. So for an adult, we've been sitting on our bum all day at the desk, then we sit on our bum for dinner, then we were sitting in the evening watching a film or on the phone. How much movement have you done during the day? Have you moved your body? Okay, so that's a really important one. Remembering that your bowel has a rhythm, it has a movement to it. That's why part of why you get that urge. It has a rhythm. So if the body as a general being is very stagnant, it's not encouraging good movement within the bowel either. Okay, so same for kids. Have they been moving today? Have they been glued to a book? Have they been glued to video games? What are they up to? Are they moving their bodies? The next thing to reflect on is, again, that urge to go to pass a bowel movement. So for adults, we might feel the urge, but we're in the middle of a meeting and you just don't want to leave. So you suppress that urge. Or you're driving from A to B, or you need to get there and you've no time, just not making time for a bowel movement, okay? Not making time to pass a stool, okay? Same for kids. Simple example is video games. I don't know too much about video games, but if you're going from one level to another and you can't stop, and if you stop, it's all gonna go, I don't know. But, if they get really stuck into something, they get an urge from their body to pass a stool, to go to the bathroom, and they ignore it. And again, remember, there is a rhythm to your bowel. If you stop or suppress that urge, you're setting things off kilter, okay? You're not listening to your body. So that's another one. Are you giving time to your bowel movement? Okay, giving time to your bowel. The next thing to think about is something for me where I come in, how I help people, because you might be thinking, this lady deals with backs and neck pain and headaches and migraines. Why is she talking about constipation and sluggishness? But remember that your bowel is not, packed away in a bubble. It's attached to the rest of your body. It has a nerve supply. The nerve supply comes from your spine. So think of the nerve supply like electricity. And sometimes if there's tension or tightness or imbalance in the pelvis, hips, low back, sacrum, all that area, it can affect the bowel. That the bowel is not quite in its sweet spot. It's working, it's firing, but it's just, there's the sluggishness there, there's a constipation there. And by releasing that tension, the physical tension within the spine, pelvis, and within the tummy as well, it can encourage that good bowel movement rhythm to return. Okay, so that's where hands-on body work can come in. Now, some of you might be watching this from different parts of the country. Look for a practitioner in your area that works on this, that has experience in this, and that can be another tool in your toolbox of how to deal with sluggishness or constipation, because you might be eating all the right things, you might be drinking lots of water, but you're still not quite there, and a little bit of body work can be another good thing for you or for your child as well. So that's where I can support on this issue, and where I have supported people on this issue. Another thing to ask yourself as well is what's going on for you? What's going on in your environment? Are you sleeping well? Is there difficulties at work? Is there difficulties at home, within your family? Same questions for your child. Is there difficulties at school, with their friends? Difficulties at home? Sometimes if there are things going on around us that are difficult to digest, it can affect our digestion. So if there are emotional difficulties, mental strains, mental stresses going on around us, for some people they'll see a very distinct reflection in their gut, okay? Definitely with adults, lots and lots of my clients over the years have said they see it's very, very direct in that if there's difficulties going on, that they get wound up with something, stressed with something, they see a reflection in their gut. The rhythm of their bowel movements is thrown off. And just thinking of that simple thing of things are difficult to digest, both mentally and emotionally and physically. So for you as an adult or for your kids, thinking about that. Is there something going on that could be contributing in that aspect? Now, some final bits of information. If you're about, from when you eat something to when it comes out the other end, it should be about a 12 to 24 hour period. So that's something to examine. Is it slow? What's going on? And a really simple way to do that is to eat a brightly coloured food. And I would suggest beetroot. That's a really simple one. And what will happen is when you eat beetroot and it comes out the other end, you'll see a kind of a dark reddish stool rather than your kind of typical brown. And what you can do is have a meal that has lots of beetroot in it and see when you see it, okay? Again, not the most glamorous of conversations, but if you eat beetroot on a Sunday and you're not seeing anything until Wednesday, you will then have that indication that there's something slow going on for you in your bowel. There's a sluggishness there. As I said, it should be 12 to 24 hours that you see at the other end what's coming out, and that's a really easy indicator, the beetroot one. The other thing is that a lot of people don't realize is that you should be having or looking to have 2 to 3 bowel movements a day. That's the optimal, that is ideal, 2 to 3 bowel movements a day. Again, from over the years, not many people are in that circumstance. So even, sometimes people are 2 to 3 bowel movements a week. And again, just reflect on, this is one of your waste removal systems, it's a detox method. So the slower that is, the more stagnation there is there, you're not detoxing as well as you could be detoxing. So just keeping that in mind, if you're a person that's got like 2 to 3 bowel movements a week, working on improving that is going to be working on improving your detox routes. But even, just getting a minimum of 1 healthy bowel movement per day, having that as the minimum. Maybe some days you'll have 2 to 3 and then other days it will be 1, but certainly looking to improve from 2 to 3 times a week, So that's something that a lot of people are unaware of. They kind of think, oh, well, I've always been 2 to 3 bowel movements per week. Again, kind of falling into is it common or is it normal? Are we all struggling a little bit with healthy bowel movements and we think it's okay to have 2 to 3 per week? Or is it just that's become common because of sedentary lifestyle? And really we should be having that 2 to 3 per day. Okay, so that is enough talk about poo. One final note is, remember that this is a social media post. You know, in these kind of things, you're talking to everybody and nobody at the same time. If there's something going on for you with your bowel movements, if there's a significant change, something that you're concerned about, go and get it checked with your GP, please. It is, as I said, it's a vital sign. It's telling you what's going on internally in your body. Don't be shy about it. Don't put it off. Go and get it checked out with your GP. Have the conversation with them. And as I said, start to have these conversations with your children, so that they feel comfortable to talk about it and we're not feeling a little bit shy about it. Okay, guys, I hope that's given you a few little tips, something to think about, and you feel a little bit more confident about how to care for your gut health and a good healthy bowel movement. Okay, take care.